Everything looking good on your end?
Everything looks good on mine.
Everything looks good on your. We're just going to go with
audio sounds good.
And audio sounds good. Outstanding.
Yes.
Well, we've had a good day so far today. We've been down there shooting a bunch of stuff, and probably by now you've seen a bunch of Hawke scopes on our rifles we're shooting because, well, Hawke is actually a big supporter of AirgunWeb and what I've been doing for many, many years, and they do come on board for the expo every time we've done it. So thank you so much to Hawke for helping support what we're doing. Now, normally we'd have one of their reps come over, but he's unavailable. And so they've left it to me. They've left it to me to tell you about their stuff, which is cool because I've been shooting Hawke scopes for a long time. This one's dusty. It's because it's been out on a gun. Before we get started, I want to say thank you to all of our sponsors. If you guys would like to see who's helping support what we're doing out here, specifically for the Airgun Expo, please go to our website, theairgunexpo.com, and take a look. If you click on a logo, it'll jump you to that sponsors showcase page where you'll get to see some of their products. You can actually reach out to them as well. So what do we got here on the table? We have a bunch of Hawke products, and we're going to kind of walk through each of these. I'm not going to get into the weeds on all of them, but first of all, if you guys want to take a look, can you show them my computer screen, please?
Yes.
Okay, if you go over to Hawke's website, which is HawkeOptics.com, you choose what country you're in, and you're going to be able to get and see this. We're going to be mostly looking at the sports and nature section. So under the sports, you're going to have all their scopes. Now, I've been shooting Frontier and Sidewinders mostly over the last couple of years, and they're gorgeous optics. They're really, really nice. But if we take a look at like my favorite Frontier 34, we're looking at a price point that's a little stout for most of us air gunners. So I asked them specifically, I need some airgun focused stuff. And I've been super pleased with the Vantage line and the Air Max line. And I also asked for some red dots because I only have like a couple Hawke red dot optics. I wanted to round that out with what we're doing with like, well, we've got the Hubin pistol coming up. We've been shooting the Viper 30. I've got the Viper 22, 25, and 30. We got a bunch of really cool pistols, and these little red dots and reflex sights are ideal for that. I even have what's called a prism sight, which I'm really curious to see how that might work on one of the shotguns. So just a bunch of cool stuff there that some of the stuff I've never worked with. But these guys here, I am like super familiar with. And if we go back and look at let's take a look at like the Vantage line. So you guys asked me, Rick, what's a good line to use on your brake barrel, for example? I start with the Vantage IR. Now they make a Vantage non-IR, and the difference is, well, IR is an illuminated reticle, but all of Hawke's, at least at this point in time that I'm aware of, and last time I checked, all of Hawke's illuminated reticle scopes are etched glass reticles, okay? So no wire reticles. You go below like the non-IR stuff, like in the Vantage, and they're gonna have wire reticles. But you move up to the IR and you have an etched glass reticle. That matters with brake barrels and springers. It's more robust, it lasts, it holds up better. So that's why I say the Vantage IR. And you start like, we can start like this. This is actually a great little scope, the 2-7 by 32. If you're chasing squirrels in trees and you need quick target acquisition and you're not shooting 100 yards, the 2-7's a really good fit. Now, my personal favorite is this guy right here. This is the Vantage IR. This is a 4-16 by 50, and it's a chunky long boy. You're not going to use that on like your Gambo Swarm Magnum because it'll interfere with the swarm mechanism. But you can use this one. This is the Air Max. We'll get to that in a minute. And you might be able to use like their 4-12. Let's see what they got here in the IR. And also notice they have some with adjustable objectives, some without. So you want to make sure you're getting the AO models. Like we start down here, 3-9 by 50 AO. So you want that adjustable objective. And you may have to really look at the length if you're going to go like with putting it on your swarm. So this scope here will work on like the Magnums, and we actually shot this scope here, which is the Air Max Compact. We'll get to that here in a little bit, what the whole Air Max line does. We'll get to that here shortly. But that, yeah, those actually work pretty good on the Gambo brake barrels. Let's go down here. You see pricing here. Now these are retail pricing. They're not like street pricing. So you can take a little bit off of that probably if you're going to go to a vendor and buy it. Now, anyway, I'll just stop with that. You can take a little bit off. take a look at the reticles though. So they do have these in different offerings, like the Vantage here, the 4 to 12 AO. You can get it with a 22 rimfire. You can get it with a mil dot. You can get rimfired subsonic. You can get 17 HMR. You can get different reticles. So these aren't just for air guns. These you can put on your firearms too. Let's see if we go down here. So this guy right here, this one right here. So this is this guy right here. It's $309. You take a little bit off of that, it's probably going to be like $289 plus or minus. We can maybe take a real quick trip over to, let's see, Airgun Depot. Let's see if they've got Hawke Optics. Okay. Oh, I do not want push notification. Come on, guys. Okay. Okay. No, I don't want to chat with you. Oh my gosh. Please leave me be. All right, here's the, all right, $279. All right, so you can see the price difference. This is where you're going to want to look at like street pricing. So when you're looking at when we're looking at the Hawke website, you're seeing 309 or 500 or whatever it comes out to. Know that when you go to actually buy it from a retailer, price could be a little bit lower, but that's full on MSRP on their website. So $279 for this. Nice etched glass, illuminated, adjustable objective. It's actually a really, really nice scope. It's a long scope.
Your mouse is on the wrong one.
That one, I moved it, that one there. All right, so if you go up a little bit, let's say you want a side lever, but you still want to stay in the affordable side, you get over to, and let me get back to where I was. Okay, so now we get to the Vantage 30 wide angle IR. So we have that right here. So this is still in the Vantage line. We go from a 1-inch tube, so a smaller tube, less light transfer, a little bit more affordable. We go to the 30 mil tube, more light transfer, more features. This has got the side lever, parallax adjustment. Yeah, this should be just a standard mil dot. Yeah, so this has got the mil dot. Let me show you the reticle on this guy because it's more like the Sidewinder. Like this scope right here is it's like lots of the features of the Sidewinder without the price tag. So let's go look at that quickly here. That is the 4 to 12 or 4 to 16. Okay, that would be like, if I was doing like my go-to, I won't say budget because it's more than budget, but my go-to like starting good scope for like 100-yard target shooting or something, this is the scope I go for. It's more affordable than like say the Air Max and certainly the Endurance and Frontier and Sidewinders, definitely more affordable. But it's good clear glass, great reticle, etched glass, illuminated side focus, all of that stuff. And the 4 to 16 is a great power range, especially if you're shooting mostly at 50 yards. If you're going to be shooting at 100 plus, maybe the 6 to 24, you'd want to look at that. But the 4 to 16 for me is sort of like the sweet spot. I really like that magnification range. Let's go down and look at this one. This was the this is the 4 to 16 by 50 side focus. Let's see if we got it here. 4 to, this is the wide angle side focus IR. It's this guy here. So it's the illuminated reticle. 4 to, all right, 4 to, it's right here. 4 to 16 by 50 wide angle. So the wide angle, that means it's got a wider field of view than typical. It's kind of a nice feature, even like you're zoomed all the way in, it gives you a little bit better field of view. All right, so we're going to scroll down. So there's our reticle. So it's a really nice detailed mil-dot reticle, and you have this, I don't know why they zoom in like that. It makes you think it's first focal plane. It isn't, okay? They do have first focal plane. Do they have first focal plane in the Vantage? I know they do in the Air Max. Let's go back. Don't see, here it is. Yeah, so they do have first focal plane over here. We're starting to get pricey, like $500–600. I'm curious if we look at the Vantage first focal plane over here, what the price difference is. $509 for the 4 to 16, which is about $60 off. So definitely, when you're going to, if this is something Rick, that's like it. That's got the features I want. take a look at a vendor like Pyramid Air. I don't know who else sells the Hawke stuff, Airgun Depot, Amazon, whatever. You guys can go find a vendor of your choice, and you can check pricing to see who's got the best deal. Okay, so let's move on from the Vantage line. Let's move up to the Air Max. Now, the Air Max is really their answer for air gunners. It's really airgun related optics, and that's why it's called Air Max. So you see here, that's a beautiful gun, by the way. That's the Air Arms Tactical, just an absolutely gorgeous gun. We're going to move on. I really like that gun. All right, so we have a couple different reticles. We have just the straight AMX. Can we see these? Yeah, okay, so there's your straight AMX reticle. So it's not super busy, right? So it's got your marks, and it's got some like windage help. A lot of times when it's really blowing, and you could use that little tree and use the edge of the tree to aim. It actually is really useful. So that's what I'm doing down at the range when we've got a left to right going, and I'm saying maybe down the quadrant target. I've got my holdover, but I may use those lines to kind of put the edge of that line where I need to be. You see it down there, Sue? On that that tree. So right on the edge, you can use the edge of that tree as a way to help you have a good aim point. So that's how I use that reticle. So let's see, there's the AMX reticle. There's the illuminated. So they have the AMX illuminated, and then they have the first focal plane. So the first focal plane does actually grow with you. The Air Max first focal plane scopes are pretty much, short of having the name Frontier on the side or Sidewinder on the side, they have a lot of the same feature set. I mean, the glass is really clear. A lot of times you'll go like, and I used to do this. I remember when I first started, I'd go and I'd buy like a cheap optic. Well, I thought $100 was a lot to spend on a scope. When I first started, I thought, in fact, I would buy a gun based on the scope. Don't do that. I mean, really, don't do. That's really not smart. I mean, I did it so many times. I'm at Walmart, and it's got that fancy Crossman 3 to 9x40 AO mil dot, and that's the gun I gotta have because it's got a good scope. That was bad. Don't do that. Buy the gun you like, and then buy the scope you like. Even if the gun may come with a scope, maybe you get started with that. Save your pennies. Buy the scope you want. Right? Don't buy the gun because it's got a nice scope. That is the bad way of doing it. Boy, I did that too many times. And I learned after a while that that's not smart. But anyway, so I would go and I would look at maybe $160. I'm like, oh man, that is just so much money. But I'd get it center point, 4-16, illuminated, but it was wire. I didn't know the difference back then at the time. Or maybe a 6-24. That's a better example. I buy the 6-24. This is going to just make me so much. I'm going to be so accurate with this thing. It's amazing. It's just going to change my world. It's going to be so much better. And I look through it, and about the time I get to like 18 power, everything starts getting blurry, milky. And then when I go to 24, I can't hardly see through the doggone thing. That's because it's got really crappy glass. It probably has sufficient glass for the price point, right? But if you turn your scope all the way up to 24 and you can't see clearly all the way to the edge, I would not go to 24. 16 is like better. And I'll just be honest with you, the Vantage 6-24 and a 1-inch tube, I wouldn't buy that scope. I would if you're going to go 6-24, go with a 30 mil tube, go with an Air Max, go with a Sidewinder, go with something that's got a better tier glass, because if you want that full 24, like the Frontier 5-25, absolutely gorgeous scope. If you want that, the glass has got to be good, and it's going to cost a little bit more, right? So if you're like, Rick, I got to have that 20, I got to have 6-24 because I'm going to shoot the wings off a bug at 150 yards. It's just must have it. Good luck with that one, unless it's a really big bug, like maybe a VW. But if you're going to like really need to, you think you need that, making my wife chuckle. If you're going to need that 24, right, then kind of step up from the Vantage, right? I wouldn't buy the 6-24 to Vantage. I'd look more at the Air Max, but in the Air Max 30, right? Or I would go up to like really the Sidewinder is going to give you that clarity that I think you're looking for. Not that the Air Max wouldn't, but the Sidewinder is better. But if you can't afford the Sidewinder and you go to the Air Max, you're not going to be hurting yourself at all. All right, so you have these reticles. Now we get down to the scopes, right? All right, so the Air Max line These are, I think, these are front focus, so are AO. So if you look at this scope,
Hold on, let me get back to you.
okay, so this is, I was using this. We put this on our Gammo 177 Gammo Arrow, and son of a gun, did it not shoot well. I mean, it
Can
shot
you
great.
hold it forward a little?
Hold it forward like here?
Yeah,
Okay.
and twist it around so we
Twist
can
it
see
around, spin it. Where's Vanna?
it. And roll it.
Roll it like this. Do it like this. Yeah, okay.
And
So,
down.
and okay, like this. And like this. Okay, so it's got an adjustable objective. So this is your to get your parallax correct. I was gonna say focus, but it's really not focus. It is the what's the side effect, the benefit, the words escape me. You're not actually focusing your scope when you adjust parallax. You're adjusting parallax. One of the benefits, the side benefits of that is it also gives you proper focus. All right, so these look very similar, right? But they are different. The Air Max have different class glass in them, and they have a different reticle, and they're designed for airgun usage. The Vantage IR hold up really well on springers. The Air Max is, if you want that little bit better glass, you're going to go with the Air Max. So this is the 4-12 by 50, so it's this guy right here. All right, so this is the scope, and I'm going to probably ask if we can get a couple more of these. This is the compact. This puts, like, look at the size difference, right? So this is
let me go up top. There you go.
This is a 4-12. This is a 4-12. This has an illuminated reticle, side focus, so lots of really cool features. It's almost like, what's this one? That's the Air Max. Okay. So these are very similar in capabilities, but look at the difference in size. These two here.
I have a lot of questions about
Well,
scopes. Would you like me to ask them
Yeah,
now?
yeah,
Or would you
yeah.
like
No,
me
no,
to
no.
Wait until the wrap.
Ask questions, because you
Okay.
maybe have questions that other people have. So go ahead and
I
ask.
have a lot of questions.
Okay.
For example, I know you can't use all airgun scopes on a firearm.
You can.
Correct?
You can
Or
go
the other
that
way
way. It's the other way around.
Okay.
Not all firearm scopes will work on break barrel spring or spring air guns. Okay.
Gotcha.
They'll all work on PCPs because they
Okay.
recoil just like a firearm
Okay.
back into your shoulder. It's the springers that give you the fit, right? Because they have that reverse recoil. They jump forward, and that will trash scopes that are not designed to take it. Now, more and more scopes are being made for that, to take it. But yes, you have to make sure that your gun can handle the forward recoil.
Okay. You talk about
I need a camera over there, so I like to look at it, but go ahead.
you can just look straight. There are a bunch of different types of scopes, and you talk about the different quality of glass. Obviously, I am assuming the better quality glass, the more expensive.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Okay. Why? And well, I guess they make it in a variety so that people who don't have a lot of money have a scope.
Right. And also, for example, all right, so air guns, and I'm not going to talk about you extreme guys out there, but most air gunners shoot at 50 yards or under. Okay. Glass clarity to be sufficient for 50 yards does not need to be expensive. Glass clarity to shoot at 1,000 yards needs to be really, really, really good, and it costs more money to make that glass. I'll give you an example. I have a buddy of mine works in optics, works at an optics company, and he was making parts. I can't go into the type of parts, but he was making parts, and the blank, it starts with a little blank of glass, pure glass. That little block, the little block that he's going to make the part from was like 20 grand. Okay, so that part was going into something that made other precision parts that had a tolerance across 3 sides that was near impossible to do. And he was the guy who figured out how to do it. So he has a really good job. He has what you call job security, because he's like one of a handful of people in the world can do what he does. But glass that is that clean, that pure, that pristine, it's very expensive. The number of coatings on the glass to help with light transmission. Okay, so you can have multi-coated optics, or you can have like like just coated, or you can have like really coated. All of that stuff matters on the light transmission and clarity, right? The idea of the tube, like my favorite scopes are Frontier 34. We have a 1-inch tube, we have a 30 mil tube, and now we have a 34 millimeter tube, which is even more. So that scope, the light transmission, the picture you get, the magnification you get without distortion is like awesome. It's also why it's $1,500, right? So these are 3, 4, 5. That's 15. It's a much better optic, and it all comes down to, generally speaking, the quality of the glass and also the consistency of the turret. So a lot of like say field target guys, it depends on what discipline you're shooting, want to click. So they don't want to have to hold over or hold under. They want to, oh, I'm 50 yards, that's 12 clicks, and be dead nuts on. So if you want a scope that's precise, so you can click, 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 and you're on, and go back to where you were and you're on, and there's no variation, and it's consistent and it's precise, well, that mechanism that does that, yeah, the more precise and consistent that is, the more expensive it is.
Sure.
So there are scopes that are designed to click, and they're supposed to be dead nuts on, and all of that stuff. And I remember back when I did a video with the Axion scopes, and one of their things was you can click, shoot, click back, and you're back on. And I shot at 50 and I shot at 100, and the doggone thing worked. So that's kind of cool. When you can have that consistency matched with really good glass, you're going to pay for it. That's why some of these scopes out there are thousands of dollars. You know, as an air gunner, I'm cheap. You guys are like looking, I ain't going to spend $1,500 on a scope. Well, go to a gun store and like go look at a 800-yard target rifle and see what kind of see what kind of money you're going to spend to put glass on it. This could be $2,000, $3,000 easy. It's going to be 2 to 3 times the price of the gun. The firearms market, I get it's very different. We're shooting 100 yards on a gosh, and I know there's guys out there that are shooting 150, 200, 300 yards. I'm talking the majority group is 100 yards in. Really, the vast majority is 50 yards in, or maybe 20 yards in your backyard. You really don't need a Sidewinder to shoot at 25 yards. I'll take one and I'll use it, but you don't really need it. But you guys, I think you get what I'm talking about, right? So you buy the right tool for the job. Fortunately, I mean, we're looking, if I just go back over here to the sports section, if I just go here, I mean, they have a wide variety of products to take you from like that Vantage IR sort of where I would start all the way up to the Frontier. So they have this wide range of optics to keep you satisfied. I wanted to move over to, yes?
I have more questions.
She has more questions. Fire away.
On the Hawke site, and you've mentioned it, IR, Vantage IR. What does the IR stand for?
Stands for illuminated reticle. So your reticle is black. So if it's dark and you're shooting at a subject, well, I'm not saying you're not supposed to be hunting at dark, right? So it's not like after hours, all right? It's just at dusk. You're like at that last 5 minutes before you have to you can't pull the trigger, right? It's dusk, and so you're put your crosshairs on a target. Maybe you're hunting pigs or whatever, or deer or whatever. It's a dark object. You put your crosshairs on it. You got a black object with black crosshairs. You can't see where you're aiming. Mm-hmm. So the illuminated reticle, you turn it on and you can see it. Let me see if one of these has a battery in it, because that's really the best way for you to know what I'm talking about.
So for me as a graphic person,
look through that scope.
Inverting the reticle is what you're talking about.
Pull it away. Don't put it right up against your eye. There you go.
Yeah, it's bright red.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're at night, right, or it's dusk, and if you turn that off, it's just black.
See that in the camera?
I don't know if they can or not.
Let's try it. Oh yeah, they can tilt it towards the door. There, stop. Right there. Yep. Got it.
Okay.
Cool.
So yeah, so if I'm looking at this, it's dark out, you know, I got something that tells me, oh, that's where my pellet's going to go, right? That's where my bullet's going to go.
Yep.
So that's what the illuminated reticle does. Now, again, there's a lot of scopes. Look, when I had the pro shop and we were selling stuff and people wanted just an affordable scope to throw on their gun, like they had a $200 PCP, they didn't want to spend $800 on a scope. I agree with you. We would do a $89 Pinty scope. It was 4:16 adjustable objective, mil dot, illuminated, right? I mean, it's not a great scope, but it was good enough for 25, really out to 50 yards. It was perfectly good enough. But when you hit it, that illumination, the whole thing, it was a light shining on the wire. It was not great. This, it's just that little section that glows. It's really precise in how it's a different experience. Yes.
So SF is single focus?
SF is side focus. So
Side focus.
like, and it's really dealing with adjusting your parallax, which is the alignment of your optics. So when your parallax is off, you can actually move your eye back and forth, and your target will shift around, and it'll actually mess up your point of impact. When you can adjust your parallax so that everything is in line, so that way you look through it and everything is like on the same plane, and everything's perfect. The side effect, that was the word. The side effect is that everything's in focus. So this scope, you're going to adjust your. I'm going to use focus because that's how people know it. If I look at that back wall, it's out of focus. If I turn this to 10, well, this only goes to 15 yards. So if I turn this to this, I'm too close. So it really won't actually parallax down far enough. Let me see. This one does. This goes to 10. Some scopes go down to 5 yards, which is really nice. So pull this on. Yeah, so this, we can see it, right? So this adjusts your parallax. We're going to say focus. Just bear with me. This adjusts your focus so that your picture's clear. Now on your scope, not all scopes, most scopes, these scopes have basically 3 optical adjustments. Your first is this one right here. Now I'm not talking about your turret adjustments. I'm talking about what you see for clarity. Okay. So when I look through this, you notice that's got a gap right there. Okay, so
hold on, let me put and you
got to
move
get
forward a little.
right here.
Okay, yeah.
So if I screw this all the way and it's flat, right? If I look through that, my reticle is fuzzy, can't see the thing because I got horrible eyesight. So I will turn that until my crosshairs are crisp and clear. So now my crosshair is nice and crisp, and it just goes out a bit, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom into the magnification that I'm going to be shooting. So let's say I'm shooting, that I want to shoot at. So let's say this is a 4 to 12. If I'm going to hunt with this scope, I would normally put it on 10 power. I'm not going to get into why in this video. We'll talk about that later. This is really about Hawke, it's not so much about how to set up your optics. But hey, if you guys find it interesting, we're going to talk about it. So I'm going to set this at 10 power. Now I'm going to use my parallax adjustment to adjust this until my sight picture is clear. So I've adjusted this here for my reticle clarity. I've adjusted this for my magnification of how far or how much I want to be magnified on my target. And then I'm going to adjust my objective, right, to make sure that it puts everything in the same plane. My parallax is all correct, and it makes everything in nice focus. Now, that's this adjustment. Side focus puts that parallax adjustment here on the side.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, why would you want that? Well, you may have a fancy scope like this. This is
that's a sidewinder.
No. This is like the high-end Air Max, and this has a wheel.
Oh, I always thought those were sidewinders.
Well, they do wind on the side, yes, but this has a wheel, so this gives you more control, like easier control of making your adjustments. And they usually, if you have it on the right way. Okay, so there's an index. Let's see, that's 200 yards. It's going to be, let's put it down here. Let's put it at 10 yards. And this is going to be 10 yards, just like this. Okay, so there are, boy, that grip's hard. If you notice right there, there's a demarcation.
Yep.
Right there.
So
10.
to the door a little?
To that way?
To the door. There you go.
Okay,
Okay.
and as you turn it, those numbers on the outside wheel line up with the numbers on the inside wheel.
Okay.
So if I am, a lot of field target guys love this, right? So the one other benefit or side benefit of getting a good parallax adjustment is that when it's in focus, this will tell you about what your yardage is. So you don't need a rangefinder because your scope will tell you about how far it is. So pretty cool. This is the Air Max 30 wide angle side focus. I know that's a lot. And that's really sort of the, other than going first focal plane, if I go back over to the sport. So that's this right here, wide angle side focus. Then you go to the first focal plane, then you go to the compact. And I do have a wide angle touch. That's one that's supposed to go right up against your eye, but I have glasses, so I can't use it, but it blocks out all the light. And as long as your gun doesn't have a ton of recoil, it's actually a really neat scope. But if your gun has recoil, you'll get a black eye, so don't do that. So I think that kind of goes through everything we have here for these scopes. I want to talk a little bit about the red dots and reflexes. So we have the Vantage 30 wide angle side focus IR. This is the top end of the Vantage. And then we come over here to the wide angle side focus. Other than first focal plane, this is really up there. Of course, we have the compact too. So some really good scopes here. The Air Max is really, if you're an air gunner, you want to be looking here at the Air Max. That's a really good place. You could probably buy one of these scopes in that range that you're looking for and be happy forever. If you want to go to the Sidewinder, then you get some additional features. You get some better turrets. You get, I think, and I might be wrong, I think the glass is like really close between this and the Sidewinder. When you jump to the Frontier, the Endurance and the Frontier, that's when things start to get to like the next level. So if we go to like the Endurance, really wish I would stop doing that. So the Endurance 30 wide angle side focus, like we're into the 600. It's really, I think that's more firearms, frankly. And then we go to the Sidewinder. With the Sidewinder 30 first focal plane, now we're into that 850-ish. The 6 to 24 by 56, really, really nice. Super nice. And then, as I said, we looked at earlier, we get to the first focal plane. Over here, the Frontier 34, that's their top tier. I have a couple of those. Actually bought a couple of those. Now, they gave me a great deal, and I bought 2 of them so that we would have them. An exceptionally good optic, but just really, really good. So, all right, let's talk a little bit. First of all, any more questions? If anybody has questions in the chat. If you guys are watching this and have questions after the fact, put them in the comments down below, and I'd be pleased to, I'd be more than happy to answer as best I can. Sue, did you have any other questions?
Not now.
Not now? Okay. So before we get to the reflex, just briefly, we're going to talk about the scope, the binoculars and the monoculars. We've been using the binoculars all week. They're gorgeous. They're awesome. They are, they're over here. They're the front LRF, the Frontier LRF, excuse me. They are gorgeous. Beautiful picture. I know, Sue, you've used them.
Yep.
What did you think of them?
I really like them. I want to actually take them on a hunt. Go
spot.
Spot. I want to go spotting. You can go shooting.
Yeah, I think we should do it. Honestly, why not? We could have fun.
I like what they're made of.
The
my
feel of them.
grandparents had, the last time I held binoculars that I recall, my grandparents had them, and they were very heavy and very long, and they were kind of metal. So they were very, very heavy. These feel nice. They grip easily.
Yeah, they're very nice.
I think they're plastic, but they are good.
Well, they're metal. They're probably,
outside.
they've got like a rubberized coating on the outside. They're
Which
rugged.
looks good for weather.
Yeah, they are. They're weather resistant. They're really, really nice. This is a monocular. This is their sort of entry level monocular. Just a really nice little thing. So it's sort of like a baby spotting scope. It's got a 1/4 on the end.
The caps are really nice too. They fit nicely and they stay attached, which is very cool.
Yep. Personally, I love the fact that they've designed these that people with glasses can use them without having to take their glasses off. that's a huge thing for me. So if you're interested in their nature line, please go take a look under the nature heading. I've got some great spotting scopes from them. I have some really nice binoculars from them as well. I have some ED binoculars that are really gorgeous, like the Frontiers, but they don't have the laser rangefinder in them. The laser rangefinder I have found to be really useful. So to be able to just spot something, push a button, you get a number, you know what you're looking at. That is just awesome. And as air gunners, we know we don't shoot flat. Everything we do shoots on an arc. So if we can know what the range is and we've spent some time doping our scope, we know exactly where things are going to land. We've done the homework right. We know what's happening. Then knowing that, all right, I'm at 75 yards. That's like 2.5 mils. You know, if you know that going in, then boy, it's really, really handy. And we know also we as hunters aren't supposed to be using our scopes as binoculars, right? So, so I don't know what Angie's referring to. She said something. Anyway, so
I don't see a chat.
Yeah, so we're not supposed to use our scopes as binoculars. So if you're out there in the field and you're using your rifle to look and say what that is, and that turns out to be a person, they look up and say somebody's pointing at them, you don't want to be doing that, right? And you certainly don't want somebody doing that to you. Get a set of binoculars. It's really, really handy out in the field, what you're supposed to do anyway. All right, let's look at some of these reflex sights because I asked for some different models. So if we go over to, let's see, Sport Red Dot, we'll look at the Endurance Red Dot first of all. So some of these, and this is one of them, actually have different rails. So this rail can be replaced and it doesn't have to have the riser. I love the fact that you get those types of different mounts. It's super awesome. This is just a
Do you want
basic.
to hold that up for the
Yep,
camera?
I will. This is a basic red dot. I can show the rail here. Right. So you have 4 holes here where you can take this rail off and put a different rail on it. So that's really, really, really cool. I don't know if this has got the battery in it. I don't remember. It does. So this is just a simple dot. There it is. Yeah.
Can you show the camera?
I can try.
Maybe it'll work. Left, left, left to the door. Sorry, my left, not yours. Yeah, maybe. No, we're not seeing it. It's okay.
I give up. Oh,
I caught a glimpse.
you caught a glimpse. Good enough. You glimpsed
Caught a
it. There
quick
it is.
glimpse at as it went off there.
And it's out of focus anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let me make sure I turn it off. I don't know the details on these. This is where I wish Hawke was here because they could tell me. I think this shuts off automatically because it's part of the endurance line, but I don't know for sure. So better be safe than sorry. You've got caps here.
Is it something that might be on their website?
It is. It's this guy right here. This is a $240 site, so it's not like a cheapie. Let's see what it says. 3.MOA, parallax free. Yeah, it goes to standby mode. So if it doesn't feel anything for 5 minutes, it shuts itself off. And that was what I was wanting because it really stinks when you forget to turn your thing off and you're like, gosh, I need a CR 2032. Where's it? I can't find the doggone thing. Yeah, this shuts itself off. It's what you want. So that's very, very cool. And I keep turning it back on. To turn it off, you just hold the negative or the minus sign, just hold it down until it shuts off. You can manually do it. Cool. Okay. Standby mode, that's what it's called. So that's cool. And then I wanted this guy. It's got a wider field of view. So this is a reflex dot. This is, let's see, let's go back to sport. Reflex, I don't know which one this one is. This is I don't know which line it is, what class. 1X wide view. I don't know, we're just gonna go to reflex sites and find it. It is, the number is 12145. So 12. All right, so it's Advantage. So this is more of their affordable, right? But if you notice the shape, it's much wider. So you have a much wider field of view with this. Show it up there to the camera.
Hold on. Sorry. Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And so you have your dot that shows up. Let me see here. Oh yeah, and this has got a cool, this doesn't have just a dot. It's got like a cool target thingy. Hold on. This also has standby mode, and that is what the reticle looks like. So that is just, gosh, it's so wide. I'm so used to the reflex sights that are really small. I mean, take a look at that, Sue. I mean, imagine that on a pistol. No,
Do you hold it
it
up
out.
here or
Hold it
pull
out.
it in?
You just hold it out. Just angle it till you see the sight on the glass. You're angling it up. You need to angle it more. There you go.
I'm not seeing it, but you may need to train me. And I don't have my glasses on, which
It needs to
help.
it needs to be on a pistol for you to just see it. You can get it just right. It's got this really nice. In fact, if you're showing them my screen right now, that's what
I see something. Whoa, what is that?
bright red.
Yeah.
It's like
What is that?
it's like a circle with a dot in it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Throw that on a pistol, man. That's going to be nice. Or my shotgun. You put that on a shotgun.
It looks like a circular fingerprint.
Yeah. I was thinking about this for the SWA.
I don't know if you can get that
I
in
can
the,
try.
in
I
the
can try.
camera above.
I can try.
You're going to have to maneuver it around like crazy.
No.
Back the other way, I think. There, go back towards the door. There, you got it. It's several times. Right there. Back a little. There. Okay, they get the idea.
Anyway, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
And if they're looking at this camera, they're going to see my fat belly hanging.
They won't.
All right, so let's see. I do believe this also has the turn off mode, so it shuts down. Gosh, I'm looking forward to putting that on a gun. Now look at this little guy. Now this one is the Endurance.
Oh, wrong camera.
Hold on, I'll get it here in a second. This is, I want to get the right model number. This is the Endurance 12150. So let me get over here. I think this one was a little bit pricey. Yeah, it's $249. This one came with a bunch of accessories, and I don't know what that is. So I actually have to go through the manual. But yeah, I am going to look through this. Let's see. Auto illumination. What is this? It came with a bunch of little bits and pieces. I have to go through the manual. Let's see. Does it have an on? Does it have an on? I don't know. I don't think this has the battery in it yet. I need to either sort out the, yeah, I've got to put the battery in, and I'm not getting any designation out of it. So I need to do my homework on this one. I just unboxed it today. But look how tiny it is.
Hold on.
I mean, if I put that on like a little pistol, I think that is really, really nice. Now, if you have like a concealed carry or something that you want a little sight, you don't want that big sight. Like, I think the big sight would be great for a shotgun or a microcarbine or something. But that little one is very light. And I want to know what that auto illumination is. It looks like if you go to the website, you can get a PDF of their stuff. That's the instruction booklet. We don't want no stinky manual. Let's see.
Right there, it says more reticle information.
Yeah, I want to look at what that auto illumination mode is. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. So I got this little guy because I wanted that little one. Now the other one I got was the Prism. And this one, I used to have like an old Prism one. This is a speed dot with that's the reticle Prism sight 1-15. Let's see what we got here. It was right there. Prism sights. And this is a 1-15. The number is 12050. This one right here. Okay. So let's learn about that. Oh, it looks really cool. Um, let's see. Does it have auto shut off? Auto shut off and shake awake. That's cool, so that you don't even have to mess with it. You pick it up, you grab your rifle, and she's good to go, like instant, which would be great for like an AR. I have a rifle. This I was thinking about trying this on, but you just pick it up and you're ready to roll. I think that's cool. Let's see. Yeah, AR hunting rifles. That's the reticle. So I mean, if you're looking for something for quick target acquisition and combat grouping, kind of a deal, that's what you got. So very, very cool. I can't wait to play with that. That's going to be really nice.
They call it the turkey dot.
They actually, I didn't bring it with me, but there is a scope that I showed on the where was it? It was a endurance. It was just an endurance, and it was a 1 to 20, 1 to 4, a 1 to 6. What is it? It was one of these guys. 1 to 24. This guy right here. Here's this guy. This is what I use on my shotguns. Right here on my SWA. Nope, that's not it. That's not the right reticle. Where is it? Where is it? Is it this one?
By the way,
That's it right there. Yes.
If you go in and you actually click on that more information thing about the reticles, it shows you the different reticles.
Does it really?
Yeah.
All right. And it came with a bunch of little accessories in there, so I need to figure out what it is. It's almost like you could change stuff out. I don't know. I have to look at the manual. But if you look at this is the scope. I don't have it here on the table, but this is a 1 to 4 by 24. This is what I use on my SWA shotguns if I'm going to slug hunt or use double round ball or something. It's just super quick. So you put it on 1 power. It's beautiful. You need a little magnification. You can shoot to 50 or something. You got it right on there, and you have the drop compensating. You can use your dots. It's a really, really nice scope. From what I understand, I'm not a turkey hunter, but a lot of folks, a lot of shotgunners are using this for turkey because you just put that circle right around their head and pull the trigger, and that's all she wrote. Well, guys, I think that's it. I mean, we've done a lot of talking about scopes and optics and Hawke and some really cool stuff. We are stocked. We are supplied for the next. I think the last time I got a bunch of stuff from Hawke might have been 18 months ago. So this is really cool. So I want to say personally, a huge thank you to Hawke Optics for sponsoring AirgunWeb, for helping us out with here at Airgun Expo. Just a huge, huge thank you. So the guys over there and the gals, you know who you are that I talk to. Thank you for all that you do and your support and for helping us do what we do here. Cannot wait to showcase some of this stuff. We've already done some of it. We already shot a couple of the Air Max scopes just this week. Man, I forgot how good the Air Max line is. This is going to go on my Gamma Magnum, by the way. So that's what this is going to be going on. We're going to be doing some testing after to see how far I can stretch it with a proper optic. That's going to be a lot of fun. But that's it, guys. If you have questions, put them in the comments below. If you have questions for Hawke, go to the website, theairgunexpo.com. Click the logo. There's a form at the bottom of the page. Fill it out, shoot it in, and then let them know, hey, I saw you guys, Rick was talking about your products on Airgun Expo. Throw it up there, and that way they can one, know that we're helping people learn about Hawke Optics, and two, they'll be able to help you out directly. So I think that's about it, Sue, unless you have any other questions.
Nope. Angie says they have something for everything.
They do have something for everything. Yes, they have a wide range. And if you need something super, super affordable and you're not shooting on a Springer, you just want a good quality scope for like your entry-level PCP, the Vantage non-IR is still a good way to go. So, you have a lot of options there. And they also have a really good warranty. They stay behind their products. So that's going to be it for now. If we have no more questions, I want to say thank you to all of our sponsors on AirgunWeb, Gateway to Airguns, the Airgun Expo. We're going to talk about Airgun Army tonight, guys. That's these guys right here. We're going to talk about why that's so important in the industry right now. And I really hope you guys will come along and join me over there. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be getting to that after we have some dinner, 6:30 Mountain Time. We're going to be getting into that. But for now, that's going to be it. My name's Rick here with AirgunWeb and the Airgun Expo. Thanks for watching.